Is there a motion on the floor regarding action item A?
That the Board of Education approve the appointment of Dr. Robert Rossi as principal of Danbury High School, as recommended by the superintendent. Dr. Rossi's salary shall be as stated in the contract between the Board of Education and the Danbury Schools Administrators Association, Exhibit 09-136.
Second. Seconded by Rachel. Discussion? Anyone? No. Sal?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment to the board and the public. I'm really excited about Dr. Rossi joining us. Dr. Rossi comes to us from out west, from Arizona. He's a native, was born here in the East and moved out there with his family many years ago, but is excited about returning to the East, where he feels he has been doing much of his work here in the East. He currently is principal at Desert High School, where he started the high school with 200 students. He's in a high school district, one of, I believe, 5 or 6 high schools. It currently has 1,500 students, a very diverse population. When we visited him, the students were at the 720 Club, where he talks about you have 720 days to get through high school and make every day meaningful. He has some wonderful connections with students. It may go back to he was a director of guidance in a school where there were 2,700 students. So he served there for about 13 years as the director of guidance. He was assistant principal in Arizona for 3 years, and he's been principal now for the past 5. He became aware of Danbury and the workings area here because he's been working with the Center for Secondary School Redesign, which is a national group. They've been doing a lot of work in the Westchester area, and knowing about the things that are going in the East here in terms of where education's going, excited him to be part of what we're doing here in Danbury. He's been spending time for the past 2 years working and training other principals, assisting in implementing small learning communities, looking at school leadership, many of the things that we're doing here in the district. He comes to us with a lot of talent, a lot of passion, and a lot of desire to make a difference in the lives of our kids here. And I'm just so pleased that the board has supported my recommendation. I think he really will add value to our administrative staff here and really improve the lives of kids in our district. So I'm just ecstatic that we're able to recruit such an outstanding educator. Bill has been too. I don't know if you have something to say, Bill, from your standpoint.
Just briefly, I think Dr. Rossi clearly has the skills to take the high school to the next evolutionary level. As Sal said, we've been very impressed with his background, his counseling background, strength in the area of educational reform around the advisory concept, which is something that we think is absolutely critical. Caring adult in the life of each child. Dr. Rossi has come from a large environment, as Sal said, 2,700 kids, pretty much the same as Danbury High School, so he knows his way around a facility of that size. Very low-key, unflappable kind of individual, very focused. You'll see from his resume that it's a very high achievement school. As Sal said, he built it from the ground up. We have much work to do between the Cambridge report and the ASP reports, but we think Dr. Rossi has the capability and skills and experience and expertise to be able to take that school forward. The other piece is that he's made a commitment that he wants to stay. And that's a big issue with us because we've had so many principals and assistant principals in the past 10 years. And the fact that he wants to be here, the fact that he wants to move back here, in some ways he feels like he's coming home, and the fact that he wants to be one of the anchors at Danbury High School and hold it stable for at least 5 years, we thought was wonderful. So I share the superintendent's excitement about Dr. Rossi. I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to our leadership team.
My only comment would be, I was on the interviewing committee. I came both days to the interview. And this has nothing to do with the candidate. It has a lot partial to do with the process. I think as leaders, at some point, when the flawness came in this particular situation, that we should have stopped the process and started over again. And that's my only comment.
Gladys, if I may, could you just be a little bit more specific? Do you mean when the names will be?
Now, I will do that in a executive session with us, and we've already talked about that.
Okay.
Okay, and I will not go any further.
I do have some regrets. I too sat on the interviewing committee, and my overall impression was that, frankly, we felt pressured. I felt that it moved very quickly, and it's such a critical position, and I had hoped that we would perhaps go out again and continue the search. However, this has nothing to do with candidates. I'm just talking about process. I also regret, because we do have guidelines, but they are, I think they're still in effect, although they're quite ancient, that the Board of Education does have the option to interview finalists, or the finalist candidates. And I really wish that we could have had this opportunity for the board to interview Dr. Rossi. And I think that perhaps we could move forward with confidence and secure in our positions. So I know it's impossible to go out again at this time, but I do wish that we had had more opportunity to learn more about Dr. Rossi.
Rachel?
As one of the board members that did have the opportunity to go to Arizona and see the things he's done and the people that he works with, I would say, you know, there may be errors in the process, but I do think we made a good choice in bringing him here. As to the process, yes, it needs to tweak it, but I don't think starting over would change that. That's my personal opinion. And I am as excited as Dr. Quacquarello and Bill is about bringing him here, because I do think he would bring a lot to Danbury High School. And I am grateful that I had the opportunity to go to Arizona and see what he had to offer, and not just hear from him, but hear from the staff, the students, and the people in the community. It was a very good trip, and I think the administrators, some of one of the administrators that went also felt that he was a good candidate and the right candidate for his position.
Irving?
Yeah, I think I'll echo Rachel's statements. I was the other board member that, again, went to see in person exactly what Dr. Rossi was all about, and it's one thing to look at it on a piece of paper or resume, or even in a room with people, but to actually see the results of what his work or his life's work has been, I think was the kicker for me. And I think we have the right candidate. I'm fully supportive of his appointment, and I'll be voting in favor. Thank you.
Bob?
Okay, again, I was again disturbed about the process. This is the second time I can remember confidentiality means nothing. Okay, I think we as a board have to examine how we go about maybe the size of what of the interviewing squad, I call it, 25 to 30 members. But that's for the future. My disappointment comes in the lack of ethics of those who leak information. And I don't know how to stop that, because something that's ethical is personal most of the time. But I'm willing to give the man the best chance, and I hope the whole school system, especially Danbury High School, gets behind him and gives him 100% support. We want somebody committed for 5 years at least. We want continuity, and we want success.
I agree with you regarding the process, and I thank you for being specific, because I also believe that the breach of confidentiality is a huge issue. Our process is definitely flawed, and I don't know how we're going to combat that either, but we're going to have to try.
I don't want to belabor this because we've been here a long time, but I agree with everybody here. And this is one of the rare moments that I do agree with everybody that the process is flawed. Definitely flawed. But it's not the candidate who's flawed, it's the process that's flawed. I think most of the arguments with that. And in the future, I think we will have to sit down when we come back in September and actually look at how we do these things in the future to alleviate those problems. I also say that when Mr. Rossi, if we so choose, becomes our principal, he is our principal, the board's principal, the administration principal, the city's principal, and we'll get the full backing of the board and administration in anything he does. This is very, very important. I feel that everybody has to know that this principal will be backed. I just want to explain that to you, in front of everybody, that this is what we're going to have to do.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. I agree, and I would also like to add that it's very important that the faculty and staff of Danbury High School embrace this new leadership if we choose tonight to appoint Dr. Rossi. Are there any other questions? No?
Mrs. Can we have a handle, please?
Sure. That's what I was going to call for that. Everyone in favor of appointing Dr. Rossi as principal of Danbury High School, please signify by raising your hand. Austin, Scazafava, Molinaro, Podhaiski, Fox, Hodge, Fazio, Taversack. Opposed? Cooper. Abstentions? None. Congratulations, Dr. Robert Rossi. You are the new principal of Danbury High School.
Thank you very much. Just to add for the board, you did indicate to me last meeting to look at our process, and I've talked to a consultant who will come in and evaluate and make some recommendations that I'll have for you for next year to look at. As someone who really does this as a living, to look at it for us, for all of us, to help us out. So, thank you very much.